Hi guys, welcome to Making Joyful Journals. I'm Anna G. If this is your first time visiting, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber or you've been to the channel before, welcome back. So today, as you can see from the title of the video and my thumbnail, I wanted to talk about what is in my junk journal tool bag. And what prompted me to actually do this video is that I was watching another creator here on YouTube, and I will link her video in the description box. And I had seen her video. I didn't finish watching it, but this was actually something I had come up with an idea a couple days ago. But then I guess, I don't know, sometimes I feel like YouTube can read my mind and it starts giving me recommendations of things that I might want to watch. And so this lady was showing her, I think it was her Bible journaling bag. And so I wanted to pull out mine. I don't have one specifically for Bible journaling, but I do have one that I use for all of my paper crafting for the most part. It is my junk journaling, my collaging, any of the paper crafts that I typically like to work on. And so I've had to pare it down because it was so full that I couldn't even zipper it closed. Now, if you've been with me before, this was actually originally a Dollar Tree dish drying mat, and I had sewn it and worked on it and created this bag, and I was going to use it primarily for my tools. But you know how things go. You do a project and then you just throw things in it. You do a quick cleanup and you throw things in it, and before you know it, it was so full that I couldn't even zipper it. So without further ado, I've already done my paring down of all of my excessive things, but let's take a look and see what's in it. All right, so as you can see, I've got it pared down to the main tools that I use like almost every single time, and it does include some of my glues. Although I can see already I'm missing my double-sided tape, and let me see if I have one. This is the one that I typically use, and I get this from Daiso. And you get quite a bit. It's a little more than 1/4 of an inch in width, but you get 23 meters of it. So that's more than probably 25 yards, I would guess. So I really like this, and this has some good stickability. The stuff doesn't come off very easily, and that's kind of a good and a bad thing, especially if you want to reposition, because once you put this down, it doesn't want to come up anymore. So, but I really like this brand, and every time I can get to a Daiso, I will pick one up. So this may be a voiceover, depending on how loud my neighbor is, because they're cutting their grass right now. And so I was actually doing that earlier today. It was a really nice day, and we're supposed to be getting some rain, so thank God for that. If you're in an area that needs rain, I'll pray for you as well, because we have been in some dry seasons for years now. And so we need lots of spring rains, a lot of April showers to bring the Mayflowers, as they say. So let's take a look at what I have in here. Now, let me start with the scissors, because you know you can't really cut paper without scissors. Or you can. Let's say that you can, but scissors are a necessity for me. And I've actually got 3 in here. This is my newest pair that I have. But I have my main Westcott, which of course I got these from Dollar Tree. Then I have these, I want to say these are Fiskars, and these are more of a kid's pair of scissors, but I like them because they're sharp and they're smooth cutting. You know how you've gotten scissors in the past, or you know that they're not the best kind of scissors, and so like they kind of like, they feel real jaggedy, or they don't move smoothly in your hands. But I've never oiled these, and they feel like they're well oiled. So these are the 2 that I was using for the longest time. And then I got these. These are, I think, American Craft. Yeah, these are American Craft, and these are like fussy cutting scissors, and I'm still learning how to use these. Sometimes there's a learning curve, right? And I'm left-handed, but I always like to cut with my right hand for the most part. So if you ever watch me, for the most part, you'll see me cutting with my right hand. Every once in a while, my left hand will want to jump in there, but I guess because of going to school, you remember in elementary, they only had, and I don't even know if they do this anymore, But when we had art class, they would have tons of scissors, and they would only have like one, maybe two pairs of left-handed scissors. And that was before, I'm not even sure why scissors had a right and a left. I'm not even sure why that is, but I can use any of these three, right or left-handed. So I guess they've improved. I don't know. But I remember that I always had a hard time getting and finding a pair of left-handed scissors. So I just took it upon myself that I'm going to learn how to cut with my right hand. So beginning with first grade, that's when I started using right-handed scissors, because left-handed scissors were like, shoot, those were far and hard. They were hard to find. They were hard to find. So these are my main tools for cutting paper. But these are not the only things I use to cut paper. I also use a box cutter, or this one's like a full-size utility knife. I think about this one at Dollar Tree also. I like it because see how this is really hard to move, and I kind of like that because once you have it locked into place, I don't want this moving up and down while I'm cutting. And as you can see, I have my cutting mat here. This I cannot fit in my bag per se, but it's something that I always use when I'm cutting with my utility knife. So this is a really nice utility knife. And then I have another utility knife, because you never can have too many, right? But these are my main two cutting utensils, I guess, cutting tools, other than for my scissors. Now, this one's more of a box cutter versus a full utility knife. This was like really heavy duty per se. It's good. It's really good. I like it, but I like this one because it's so lightweight. This one's more of a heavyweight. Even though it's plastic, it feels heavier. This one I like because it is lightweight. I also like the fact that this blade, there's not too much space here, because I used to buy the ones from Dollar Tree. They were black. You would get 3 of them for like $1.25. But I don't like them because this gap right here, it's too wide. So when it's cutting, this blade tends to move back and forth like this, and I don't like that, especially when I'm trying to cut a straight line, and I have my whole box cutter going back and forth like that. I just don't like that. But the good thing about those box cutters from Dollar Tree is that they fit perfectly in this one. And so I think I've refilled this like maybe 3 or 4 times already using the box cutter blades. And the other thing that I use this for, and as you can see, this has got some wear and tear on it, is that I use this a lot as my bone folder, because I don't really have, for the longest time, I'd never had a bone folder. And so you won't see one in here because I use this as a bone folder. It works, for me, it works really great. It's a hard plastic, and it doesn't mar my papers. You know how sometimes when you're using like the back of your scissors, if you're using a pair of scissors, not to say that these will do that, but I've had scissors before where I've used them to do my bone folding, to burnish my paper folds, and somehow the plastic of the scissors ends up on the paper. So yeah, I've never had that happen with it. If anything, it's the paper that attacks my box cutter here. So this is like, if I'm missing this, I am like searching the whole house if I cannot find this one. Okay, let's see, what else do I have in here. Let's talk about glues. So I know I have one that's already open of this, but I like double-sided tape. I like glue sticks, and as you can see, I bought some from, I want to say this was from a grocery store, and this one was from Target. But see how this is 2022? If you're like me, you wait until there's the back to school specials, and these are usually 2 for 25 cents. So I will buy $1 worth every time I go to the store. So that gets me 8 of them, right? And I'm hoping I don't go through 8 of these in a week, or 8 of these, a day. But what happens is that every time I go, so the more frequently I go, or if I see that sometimes they've got a new stock, I will go ahead and purchase $2 or $3 worth. So for 8 of them for $1, so I get 24 of them for $3. Okay, now I'm doing my math here. That's really a good deal, right? So to get 12 of these, no, I take that back. If I get 8, yeah, it's 24, right? 8 times 3, yeah, it's 24 of these for $3. That will last me a good long time. And as you can tell, I've had some of these since 2022. And that's how come I started putting the dates on them, is because I wanted to use the older ones first. So let's see, it's April right now, so we have May, June, July. So I'm thinking probably in July we will start seeing these again. And so then I will be stocking up again. So I have a whole box. Let me see. Hold on just a second. I have a whole box of them. So see, these are the ones from 2022. So I'm using these first. These are from 2024. And I think I bought all of these just last year. So yeah, I try to keep a good stock of these. Okay, so those are my glue sticks. Love using these, especially for collaging. I really find a lot of use out of these. And then also this for the hard to stick stuff. I tend to use the double-sided tape. Okay, this was I want to say is a newer purchase from Dollar Tree, and it's very runny, but it works well. I mean, it does keep things stuck down pretty well for me. So as you can tell, it's almost empty actually. And then this one, it was also from Dollar Tree originally. I can't think of what it was called. As you can tell, I've been repurposing this bottle. Do you guys do that? I like to repurpose my bottles because if I find that it did a good job with the original glue, then I want to keep on using. It usually has a real thin, bead. And so I put in here, it's tacky glue. What is it called? It's Eileen's. It's Eileen's tacky glue, but it's the clear one. So I've been using this, and as you can see, this one's almost empty too. So I really like that. I think the next time I fill this, I'll probably try it with just Eileen's regular tacky glue, the white one. Okay. Next. Trusty ruler. I cannot go without my metal ruler. I don't think I have the one that has the cork on the back, but that's okay. I mean, I use this every time. Like these two are best friends. These two right here. All right, what else do I have? Oh, and then I have my tearing ruler. This is a newer addition to my tool bag. I used to always hand tear, or I would just use this one to tear. But I had seen, who did I see using this? It might have been Miss Angie at Fancy Annie Crafts. She was using a tear ruler. I thought, oh, let me get one of these. Let me see how much they cost, first of all, and see if it's viable. And I had seen it I had a gift card for AliExpress. So, and I saw this at AliExpress, so I thought I'd get it. And you know, in all reality, this is a die cutting piece. Because if you stick this through your die cut machine, you can end up with a piece of paper. Because I was wondering, why is this these numbers are all backwards, like they're like it's the mirroring of all these numbers, because this is actually a die cut. I mean, a metal die cut. I never knew that. Did you guys know that? So this piece I use not for die cutting, but just to hold on my paper and then rip and get this like jaggedy edge, the smaller jaggedy edge or the thicker jagged edge. Okay. Pens and pencils. These, I originally, and the reason I had to pare it down is like I had like 8 ballpoint pens in here. It's like every time I did something, I would just throw a pen in here, and every time I do something new, throw a pen in here. So it got full. It got really full. I had maybe 4 of these in there, all started, but none of them finished. And I had more scissors in there, believe it or not. Because, you know, if you can't find a pair of scissors, go get one. Before you know it, this is all full. So, yeah, I I had markers in here. I had all kinds of stuff, things that I don't use every single time, but at the time that I was using it, I was like, okay, let me throw it in here. So let's go over them. This is, of course, this is my ballpoint pen. This one was a gift from Miss Angie. She did a wonderful job, and she sent this to me. I can't remember. I think it was an unexpected happy mail. I felt like I had won the lottery that day. It was just fantastic. But she had included this beautiful pen, and so I treasure this one. I use this one every time. Every time I'm making a video now, I tend to have this nearby. And I didn't realize that this was something that you could make. See, I'm more into junk journaling. I'm not into like all the new stuff, but you know, you watch videos and then you learn about all these new things that are out there. And so, and then I heard someone talking about pens that have like oil in them or liquid, and they have glitter or dust. I mean, glitter or dust, glitter or like the things that you put in shakers. It was just, I mean, it's a whole new world for me. But I'm sticking with this one. Okay, then I have this. I made this right here. This is from a pair of blue jeans that had some holes in them. So I used it to make a little pouch. And here's my reasoning for it. There's two things that I usually keep in here. One, of course, is a pencil. I love writing with pencil. I love using pencils. But what I don't like is I don't like all of the lead getting on everything else. So I made this pouch so that it would fit right in there. And then this other utensil, this other piece, this other tool is a pen. But this pen does not work. It doesn't work anymore. Have you ever used a pen that's like, oh man, it ran out of ink and I cannot use it at all anymore? But wait, there's more. This I use as my scoring tool, believe it or not, because it has no ink. It does a great job scoring. Like, for example, let's say I wanted to take this and I wanted to fold right here. So I would take let me move this one out of the way. Let me move this here. So I've got my cutting mat, but I'm not going to cut anything. And I've got my ruler here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score. See how smooth that is? And because I know that there is no ink in this, it doesn't mark, but it does a great job scoring. Now, this does have a bit of a learning curve. If you don't press hard enough, it's not going to score. And if you press too hard, you end up with a hole. So it's a little bit of a learning curve, but I use this all the time. Because remember I said earlier, I don't have bone folder. So this was for burnishing and this one was for scoring. So I love this. And I don't have a guillotine cutter. I don't have a guillotine cutter. And I love guillotine cutters. At work, I use them all the time. I mean, I'm like a paper ninja with that thing, but I don't have one at home that I use for my paper crafting. So this was my main way of making sure I had straight cuts. These two things. So I invested in a good cutting mat, and as you can see, I've got another one underneath it. But this is already my second one. My first one, apparently I loved cutting at the halfway mark, and it used to be, the 9 inch mark. Apparently, was it the 9 inch? So maybe it was a 6 inch. It was a 6 inch mark right here. I cut so frequently that, and you can see I'm kind of wearing this one now too. I cut so frequently at the 6 inch line that it made a hole. I mean, I literally cut through it. Now, have any of you done that before? I mean, if you're a true paper crafter and you used the cutting mat as your main source of cutting papers, straight lines, then I probably would guarantee that you have one of these that has cut through all the way through. So, I love using this. To me, is better than a guillotine. Why? Because I can fit this in my tool bag where I can't fit a guillotine cutter in my bag. So that's the reason why I love these. And then the No More Ink pen, the inkless pen, is my main scoring tool. Now, I can't make rosettes per se, but for any time that I need to score paper, this does an awesome job. And I even put some decorative tape on here just so I remember this one has no ink. So I can, if I need to do some type of etching or something and I know I don't want ink, then this is what I use. Okay, so let's see what else. Let's go back to what's in my toolbox. So I pared this down a lot because I had, I've got a couple of things that just kind of slipped in here. This one I think I was using for a rub-on. And then this one is a poor man's choice for a sanding block. So if I need to rough something up, this is a half of an emery board, typically for your nails. But yeah, these I don't use every day, so I should take these out. I should pare this down even more. Let's see if I have another tape. Okay, more pens. So this one is a ballpoint pen, but then I also wanted just a regular pen. This is, I think, from Dollar Tree. It has black ink, I think, but it's not a ballpoint pen. And then these last two are Sharpie, the Creative. What does it say? Yeah, the Creative markers. These are Creative markers, and I got this at Ollie's. I think they were like $2.29, so they were less than $1. I mean, they were like $1.15 each, something like that. And I'm thinking, wow, you really can't find any kind of Sharpies for like $1.15 anymore, even at Dollar Tree. So let me show you how these work, because I like the black. It works really well. And let's see, I have some room down here. So this one works really well. This one's really nice. See how well it works. You can write you can do thick lines, or you can do the thinner, finer lines. But what's nice is, I'm gonna let this dry a little bit. Let me just blow on this and dry it. What I like about it is that you got one black one and you got one white one. So the white one is really, really nice. I don't have a piece of black paper to mark on, so I'm going to actually mark on this white. But I really like it. I mean, this was my first time ever using this kind of marker. And I've used, I can't remember what brand it was. I think it was from American Craft, but it really didn't do a good job marking the white stuff. Whereas this one does a really good job marking on black or darker papers. So I really like these. I have not yet invested in the full color line of all the Sharpie Creative markers. One, because they're really expensive, super expensive. And I'm trying to keep and use what I've got. So I'm really glad that I found those. Yeah, but I like the way that the white shows up really on black paper, on navy blue paper, on any type of darker paper, dark pigmented paper. Okay, just a few more things to show. Let me move this out of the way. I've got my glue erase, my rubber eraser for glue. I love this thing. I even started using it on my scissors because, when you are doing all kinds of cutting with glue, like you just glued something and you want to cut part of it away, you end up with all this glue residue on here. And you know how it is. You start working on something and you forget about it and it dries, and the next time you're cutting, it's like they're not cutting smoothly anymore. So I take this and I rub it against these to get as much residue off as I can. I think I need to invest in some of that Gooby Gone, but if I remember correctly, I've used that before. When I was working, I used it at work, and that stuff did not smell good. I did not like the smell of it at all. So that's why I use this. This one doesn't have a bad smell to it. So yeah, and I use this even on my paper crafts if I put too much glue. This does a really good job. Yeah, you have to be careful. It's got a learning curve too. I have gone right through the paper because I've rubbed too hard. So yeah, but I got this one at Dollar Tree, and I have not seen them anymore. So if you do see them, pick yourself up one because they're really useful. I've had this one probably 3 years, maybe 3 years. Okay, just a few more things. This is something that I recently have started using, our tweezers, to do the finer, to pick up on the finer pieces, or if I have something where I had to glue something like this little dot on the joy, getting that to situate directly on there. It's kind of hard to do it with your fingers because it's such a small piece, or to pick out sometimes like on this O, to help pick that out. So, and I've been using these more frequently than, I guess as I'm getting older, I have less dexterity with those tiny pieces. So I found myself like, oh, I could use these. The only other thing that I want to get, and this is on my wish list, is I would like to get a pair of the reverse tweezers. So that this one you have to hold it to keep the piece in place, whereas in the moment you let go, it lets go of the piece. With the reverse tweezers, it does the opposite. So I'm thinking like, oh, that's great, because then I can put it down, it'll still hold it, and then pick it up, it'll still be holding it, right? So yeah, that's my next purchase for 2026, is just to get myself one of those reverse tweezers and see how well they work. I'm sure there's probably a learning curve with those too. Two more things. One is my version of a pokey tool. This was originally an ice pick. It's still an ice pick, but I use it as a pokey tool. It has just the right size. The shank of this is just the right size to make holes big enough where I can get my big needle, my big eye needles to go through these holes when I'm doing my journals. And then last is a stapler. This one is probably not a necessity, but I like this for adding an adornment or an embellishment to something. Like if I'm making a cluster, I'll put a couple of staples in there, and it adds texture, and it adds, because I can't remember if I have clear, yeah, I have just the plain silver staples, but I have all the different colors. I have like 3 other different colors of staples, and I like to use those too because those add some shine to it. Like if you don't have like a flat back or something, it adds some metallic shine to your work, which is it just gets your attention when you have a couple of staples and something. So, and it looks cool in the paper. So that's everything that's in my tool bag. I hope you found this really interesting. I found it interesting watching others showing what they have in their tool bags. It gives you ideas on what you want to have in yours. And so thanks so much for watching. I'm going to throw this out to all of you to make yourself a video as well on what's in your tool bag. Maybe it's what's on your desk or what tools you have. Oh my goodness, this is getting to the point where I can't close it. There we go. But I can take this in any room. I can take it when I travel. I can take it, stick it in my big bag if I'm going to be like waiting for somebody and be doing something in the car. I can have this with me. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a challenge for all of you crafters out there. I'm going to include my thumbnail, the photo of what's in my junk journal tool bag, and you can change it and add your name to it and your channel name and use that as your thumbnail, and I'll put that in the description box below. So thanks so much for watching. I hope to see everyone's take on what's in their tool bag. Maybe you have a toolbox, and so you might call it what's in your toolbox, what's in your junk journal toolbox. But I look so much forward to seeing all of your videos on that as well. Thanks again so much for watching. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.